Everyone who agrees with Narayan in her comment that every day is a divine day when we're all together like this, I totally, completely, indubitably agree that this what makes, you know, Krishna says, oh, look at Abby. Krishna says that seek refuge in your soul, make that your heaven. Ah, it's possible in these times, my dears, to live in the heaven of consciousness, your own awakened consciousness, and your own union, communion, your unbelievable divine romance with the divine. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of made for this. This is why things happen in this world. This is why there's wars. Not just to have wars, but to remind us that we need to seek refuge in that which is real. Otherwise, we're just completely fooled. This is a dream drama delusion. And we've said that so many times. And yet we're totally like fixated. As Yogananda said, stop watching the toy show of this world. Quote, stop watching the toy show of this world. So if we're going to get all feathered up, get all our feathers riled, you know, and fearful and wondering what's going to happen next. This is a nice little affirmation for you right from the get-go, my dears. Good morning, Brookie. Coming out our way really soon now. Aha, aho. But this is our key to happiness, my dears, letting go of what was. So you just heard some bad news, let go of it. Enjoying what is and get busy being in this present moment, right? If there's no bombs going off around you, then that's a pretty good thing, I think, right? Enjoying what is and finally having faith in what will be. Isn't that sweet? Isn't that simple? Remember this one. Letting go. I'm going to let go of what was. And what was is just what happened, just what I said. Done. History. No need to look back. Just look within. Letting go of what was, enjoying what is, this present moment, as Narayan said, being with all of you makes the best day the better. Yeah. I don't know if those were exact words, but it's the gist of what she said. And having faith in what will be. Whew. This is another quote from the Bhagavad Gita, which by the way, what beautiful wisdom each of you have to be on a Gita stream in today's climb and time. Yeah, it says so much, my dears. Don't think little of yourself. Think big of yourself. And this is big. This is big that you choose the refuge of your soul. Yeah, and you choose the refuge of the soul, and you're making it your heaven. But this quote, I'll sing it, is also a beauty from from the teachings of Bhagavad Gita from Lord Krishna. He said, I am easily reached. I am easily reached by the yogi who is single hearted, by the yogini who is single hearted, who remembers, who remembers, who remembers me daily and continuously, who remembers, who remembers, who remembers me daily and continuously, whose mind, whose mind's intensely focused on me. Gosh, look at those words. Whose mind's intensely focused on me. Sing it once more. I am. This is Lord Krishna speaking to your soul right now. I am. Stop watching the toy show of this world. Just focus on letting go of what was, enjoying what is, and having faith in what will be. All right. as we listen once more to Krishna's words. I am, I am easily reached by the yogi who is single hearted, by the yogini who is single hearted, and who remembers, who remembers me daily and continuously, who remembers, who remembers, who remembers me daily and continuously, whose mind, whose mind, whose mind's intensely focused on me, whose mind is intensely focused on me. Heaven on earth, seek heaven within. The kingdom of heaven is within, my dears. And you know, as Yogananda said, go to where the masters go, look into the light, go into the light, go to where the masters go, into the light. Another way to say that, go into the consciousness the masters have, right? Where they're filled with joy, they're filled with happiness. It's hard for us to grok that we're so empathetic for our world, right? We just got to know everything that's going to happen in the world news and what's going to happen in the war and all that stuff. We're just so brilliant, thinking that we got to know what's going on in the world when the whole program is about the opposite. What's going on between you and that one who's the only one inside? What's going on in your world, my dears? Are you still believing in this outside one? I don't know. Anyway, there's some wonderful things on store for us today and for our world. Stay awake, my dears. Stay awake. So let's just look at page 1001. Wasn't there a movie 1000? What was that one? Yeah. 1000, page 1001. But I want to end on a pretty important note and a pretty good thing Yogananda is going to share with us right off the bat, because we're still on these verses 14 to 17. And yeah, and we're in one of those. We're in one of those. We're going to be talking about not being attached to the fruits of the, oh yeah, which is verse 17 of these 14 to 17. This 17 says the threefold penance, sattvic in its nature. The threefold penance, sattvic, very, very high consciousness, is practiced by persevering men and women possessing great devotion, and who desire no fruit of actions. Wow. So I'm just going to start up in the middle of this page 1001, my dears, because Yogananda talked about last week is about the inner evenness of the heart. That's what we do instead of watching the toy show of the world, is have evenness of heart in which the feelings are free from aggressiveness of likes and dislikes and expectations, right? He and she is kindly under all circumstances. She is kindly under all some circumstances, no matter what conditions abide in her external surroundings. She retains a placid inner stillness, no matter what's happening all around us. He retains a placid inner stillness. No cunning wiles of sensory temptation can sway the discriminative determinations of her self-control. No war, no whatever that you could possibly hear or see or get the vibrations of today can sway this discriminative determination of someone's self-control if they want to be controlled. We're remote controlled, by spirit. 100%, my dears, remote controlled. If you don't mind that, there arises a divine purity in all that person's motivations, a divine purity. Wow, in all of our motivations when we are just this even heartedness, single heartedness. There arises a divine purity in all our motivations. How sweet is that? For they issue from the virtues that have become the aggregate of our character. That means our character. Our character is evolving, my dears, from human, as a golden and that bulldog, their little back and forth, that little mime that goes out every now and then. We'll go human, a human, HOOOMAN or MA, woman, right? They issue from the virtues that have become the aggregate. So we're the sum total of all this, every effort you and I have made to go within and do as best we can when we hear this wisdom of the Gita or wisdom of Yogananda or your own intuition, right? We become the aggregate of that. We become the aggregate of that. You could add it all up if you could just say, what is the main theme in my life today? What is the main theme in my life today? Right? Because you only have today, right? Your key to happiness is letting go of what was, and what was is just what was. And enjoying what is, and what is that we're tucked into the arms of the Divine Mother right now in this Gita, again getting blessed and karma mitigated, and our whole system lit up with prana. So we have healing going on the inside of us. So we couldn't be in a better place right now, my dear. So thank you. And I know I'm tooting my own horn, I guess, but that's us. Source are us. Joy are us. All right. So, along with all that is asked of the devotee, if she would attain the divine goal, she is reminded repeatedly, even though we know there's a zillion ways to look at our spiritual quest and our practices and all this stuff, he's reminded repeatedly that her endeavors are to be without desire. He is repeatedly reminded. That's what we need to do. Repeatedly reminder, my dears, that our endeavors are to be without desire for their fruits. Not what's in it for me. She readily comprehends the law of karma and how attachment to any attainment or any desire, even virtuous ones, can bind the soul in a sphere of manifestation. Oh, I'm going back to earth because I want a little better home than the one I have, or a better car, or a better life, right? Or a better wife or husband, whatever. I'm going to go back there. So we gotta look at what our motivations are and what our lingering desires are, or samskaras are, those things that haven't hatched yet, from past lives. So we've got a little bit of cleaning up to do, my dears. We're gonna clean our doorstep first, right? We're gonna clean up our doorstep first, because we don't want to be bound to this sphere of duality, dream, delusion. Do we? Look at us now. We're caught right in the short hairs of that in this life. So we're going to learn our lesson once and for all. I'll tell you that the world's going to learn their lessons once and for all, because karma is relentless. It is absolutely exact. What we put out, we are getting back, and it's getting 100% exposed. Not one of us can hide anymore. Not one of us can fake it or just think that we can do what we want to do and not have had any kind of reaction to that. Come on. We're just taking our medicine now. because of the way that people in a collective, let's say, have behaved and thought and then put it into action, and then we're self-entitled, and then I want more and more and more of that, so we get off track pretty fast. So we don't want to get, I don't think we want to have to go through this too many more times. So, but sometimes the devotee is confused in trying to understand why she should not concentrate even on the transcendent roots. Come on, I just want to be happy. Oh, I just want to be free. I just want to have, you know, just a happy life and things like that. Even those transcendent fruits, my dears, we sometimes get confused, or we don't understand that we can't even concentrate on the transcendent roots of meditation, actions, God realization. But Yogananda goes on to say, longing for the results of worldly actions. Longing for the results. It's just like looking out the toy show today and then taking it all personally. Like you got to know every single detail, really? And then what kind of reasoning do we have for that? Oh, I'm going to get prepared. We got to get prepared. You don't think that God's grace on you, God's uh, uh, living inside of you, indwelling inside of you, isn't going to keep you safe, right? Well, if you forget that and you bring in the fear, then all right, you get what you sow. You get what we sow. So longing for the results of worldly action keeps a man and woman entangled in the net of material perceptions. Therefore, Yogananda is not going to stop here. He's going to give us, he's going to tell us this once and for all, and hopefully we don't have to hear it again. Therefore, meditation with a deep desire to obtain divine communion is necessary in the beginning to offset the desires for material fruits of worldly activities. And here's a big but. We're still on page 1001. Here's a big but. But if the devotee looks to the results after each meditation, oh, I didn't have a good meditation. Or I didn't meditate long enough today. Or I didn't meditate at all. But if the devotee looks to the results after each meditation, he and she is likely to be more concentrated on her attainment, whether it was a good attainment or none at all, or a lousy meditation and you fell asleep again, right? However you want to concentrate or revisit what the meditation was all about. So he is likely to be more concentrated if we look to the results after each meditation. We're more than likely concentrated on the attainment or lack of it than on the necessary action of increasing the depth, than on the necessary action of increasing the depth of our meditation. If we're going to analyze and look at it, let's look at increasing the depth of our meditations. 5 minutes where your heart is bursting open is worth hours and hours and hours of sitting there in your mind stuff. 5 minutes where your whole heart is given to God. Isn't this a perfect time on the planet to give your heart to God? Right? Have you had enough of all this shenanigan? Isn't this a perfect time? As he says it towards the end of this Gita, give me thy heart. Yeah, I think this is a really good time to give the Lord your heart, don't you? So a yogi should, and this is where I picked up the title this morning because I love this line. A yogi and yogini should be so completely, and this goes for life. This goes for another formula in today's wars. that the yogi should or could be so completely absorbed in the divine love for God that she and he meditates automatically and willingly without continuously weighing to find the results of her efforts. Love alone brings us to the meditation chair. Love alone is enough, my dears, right? Just pure and simple. So, how many times today can we say, I love you, Lord? I trust you, Lord. It's in your hands, Lord. And enjoying this moment, right? If it's not the bomb going off around your house or whatever, then we can, still enjoy life, my dears, or whatever else is going to unfold, which we now are going to have faith in what will be. And if we can have that faith in what will be, then what will be better than what we could imagine. Because it's going to be the divine design. It's going to be how else? How can we move into the 5D, my dears, if we're just hanging on with all of our ego and all of our greed and all of our way of being, and we're so convinced that we are a certain way and I'm going to be that certain way? And how are we going to move into a higher age when we still have that kind of attitude, whatever it may be? Each of us still humans, those humans, right? They say, hang on. Where isn't it enough just to have a dog with you? Isn't it enough just to be at peace with yourself? Isn't that enough? But anyway, my dears, a yogi and yogini should completely absorb herself in divine love for God. Now, absorbing the negative ain't necessarily so brilliant, because there you want to observe. Instead of absorb, you want to observe when the negative strikes, when it's just the world is just too much for you. It's like, oh my God, no, right? It's that, no, really? You want to observe, not absorb it. But what you want to absorb is the divine love for God. So I called this stream today, this Gita broadcast, absorb yourself completely in divine love for God. Yeah, that's our message this morning, my dears. And it will be similar if you come on the Sacred Soul meditation. So we should completely absorb in the divine love of God, that we meditate automatically. It's just a natural pull. It's a natural, just like you can't wait. It's like the thing you love the most, and you can't wait to go and love it some more, because it's the one love. It's the one true love. It's the real love, my dears. So you just automatically, it's like doing the right thing. You automatically do the right thing. You automatically are in tune. How simple is that? How beautiful of a life is that? And that's what the world is teaching us right now. That we went off the grid, man. We went off the possibilities, you know. And if it's not our nation, it's other nations as well. It's just not us in the U.S. But man, overboard city, everything was taken for granted. It seems everybody wanted more and more of the luxuries, and on and on and on. It's like, like why Atlantis went under, why the Roman Empire, completely collapsed. That's how far off we got. So we're just getting wheeled in by the divine fishermen right now, my dears. And just allow yourself to get absorbed in the love of God, just so automatically that you don't even think about, oh, did I do the meditation, or when I did the meditation, or even any of that stuff. You just automatically, I love you. Automatically, I love you. And willingly, without continuously weighing, define the results of your efforts. Wow. Thank you, Yoganandaji, for just drilling, drilling into us. The reminders. I remember you. Yeah. How does the song go? I am easily reached by the yogi who is single-hearted and who remembers me daily and continuously. So here we go. Yogananda is giving us more and more and more reminders. My dears, the devotee will get better returns if you're interested in having better returns for your efforts, my dears. She and he plunges. Isn't that a good word? Plunges, Mary. Plunges herself into God's love. Wow. We've got some powerful, powerful remembrances here, my dears. One is a completely absorbed in divine love for God. So we meditate automatically, right? Completely absorb yourself in the divine love of God. And then just one sentence after that, Yogananda says the devotee will get better returns if she and he plunges. Plunges. You know, it's like some people get into the pool or get into the ocean 1 foot at a time or this and that. Others just dive in. Plunges. That devotee will get better returns if she plunges herself into God's love rather than constantly thinking and bartering like a businesswoman or a businessman. Like, example, I can buy the Lord with such and such amount of meditation. Yeah, that's how the humans think. The humans. I love those. That little podcast, PAW cast of the golden and the bulldog. I love it. Yogananda goes on to say, we're on page 1002, an aspirant who concentrates on the fruits of meditation, my dears. This is our learning today. May abandon, you know what happens? If you're constantly looking for the fruits of meditation and trying to analyze why you seem to be going nowhere really fast, you're kind of stuck in a rut or whatever. An aspirant who concentrates on the fruits of meditation may abandon her in his search for God if he doesn't find him after years of effort. Yeah, because you've been analyzing the whole time, and every time you kind of just get more and more depressed, more and more like this is, you do it, but you're doing it out of force. You're not doing it willingly. You're not doing it for being completely absorbed in love and easily reaching the divine beloved. I'm easily reached by the yogi and yogini who is single-hearted, who remembers me daily and continuously, whose mind's intensely focused on me. Love that quote from the Gita. So there's a chance, though, if you concentrate on the fruits, you might bail at some point because you just haven't had any bennies, right? And the world just got into you and it just kind of squeezed everything kind of a little too much, right? And then you said the hell with it, You just still completely convinced that you know better. And that's everybody, man. That's anybody and everybody who's on a spiritual quest is going to face these same kind of situations. Nothing new here. An aspirant who concentrates on fruits of meditation may abandon her search for God if she doesn't find him after years of effort. But the true yogi and true yogini loves God unconditionally. That's our New Year's resolution. Timeless, Unconditional love, day after day, breath after breath, my dear. We go on loving. We keep on loving. Yeah, the true yogi loves God unconditionally. If, owing to the temporary obstruction of some hidden subconscious evil, so here's an if. Yogananda gave us a but just a little bit ago, but now he's given us an if owing to the temporary obstruction of some hidden subconscious evil karma that we still have, we wonder why we get so friggin' angry or discouraged or whatever, we because it's some kind of hidden, what he says, subconscious evil karma. And so that kicks in. So he does not feel the divine presence because he's got some subconscious evil karma still to work through, to transform, transmute, alchemize. Even if he fails to find the Lord after countless attempts, and with those things that are hidden, those evil karmas still lurking, he fails to find the Lord after countless attempts. The divine lover never, never stops seeking the divine beloved. Never stops. It's a non-negotiable, my dear. We just keep on loving. What is this whole thing on the planet? What's it telling us to do? Love. 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 Love until all the pain goes away. All right. All the worries and fears dissolve. All the questions, also dissolve. So so that true yogi who loves God unconditionally, and even though there's some evil karma, she does not feel the divine presence. She is never discouraged, never. Even if she fails to find the Lord after countless attempts, the divine lover never stops seeking him. Don't you think that it was the best thing you ever discovered was the autobiography of a yogi or someone like Paramahansa Yogananda, who's just pure love? I know that was for me. I said, this guy just loves. That's all. And that's all I want. I just want to love. I want to love like Yogananda. I want to love like Christ, right? And God saying, well, that's why you're made in my image. Because get going. Get going. You have it. Go. Submerge. Submerge yourself in the eternal light. So even if we fail to find the Lord after countless attempts, the divine lover never stops loving him. As the wave gradually, my dears, gradually has to sink into the sea when the storm abates, so a real seeker has faith that if he and she perseveres, all inner obstructions must fall away. It's just like the same thing, what's the best thing? You go, what am I going to do now? Well, you're going to love now, or you're going to feel the presence right now. You're going to not waste your time thinking about something that you need to do just to do, and you just sanctify. You spiritualize. This is what we do. We be the frequency of our immortal soul. How's that? Right? Because as the wave gradually has to sink into the sea when the storm abates, so a real seeker has faith that if she perseveres, all inner obstructions must fall away. Sooner or later, the little soul wave will be one with the cosmic ocean. Sooner or later, the little soul wave will be one with the cosmic ocean. Whence it came and whither it must needs return. Wow. So that kind of ended our verses 14 to 17, and it puts us, my dears, into verses 18, 19, page 1002. So how are you? Are you feeling blue? As we move to page 1002, are you feeling true or are you feeling blue? Verses 18 to 19. 18 is, according to Lord Krishna, austerities are said to be, so our disciplines, let's say, our austerities, discipline might be an austerity for us, are said to be rajasic, unstable, and fleeting when practiced for the purpose of ostentation. Oh, look at me. And for gaining men's and women's recognition, honor, and homage. You know, you're doing it for someone else. It's, you know, image, image. What's in it for me? There's a verse 18. Austerities are said to be, that makes them rajasic. So that makes them kind of impure, but not as bad, of course, as the dark, the tamas. But it does kind of, you know, deplete the wholeness approach where we are completely in the sattvic austerity, mental austerity of the sattvic, always thinking the highest, always seeking, you know, that refuge in the love. Seek refuge in the love of God. Make that your heaven. Yeah. I'm telling you, this is divine teachings, and this is, we are absolutely poised. We're absolutely perfectly aligned right now on the planet to make this plunge and to completely absorb the love of God and to plunge into the love of God. We are made in the shade for this, my dears. So that's verse 18 about the Rajasic austerities. But listen, 19 is about the Tamasic austerities. And if ever there was a quality that's kind of ruling the roost right now on the planet, it's that Tamasic. And it has been, and it's been hidden. And there's been so much deceit and so much cover up. I mean, and let's cross the board and let's include ourselves in all of it, right? Because the delusion just has ripped through the states and the nations and our globe. We haven't realized that there's been a, well, I would say a Tamasic takeover. And then we just baked ourselves out in thinking that we were, you know, kind of good people, you know, that we were, you know, well, we're the US of America, right? And that whatever else could come from all of that thinking. But these Tamasic austerities have ruled the roofs, and they still are right now. But man, isn't it something how things are? It's relentless. It's relentless that things that are getting exposed are being relentlessly. No one's going to give up on that. Everyone's going to get exposed. Everyone's going to get exposed because there's no moving into the 5D or moving into the higher realms, the higher consciousness, higher frequencies, if we don't take care of shop. So this is getting very interesting, don't you think? I've always talked this way. I've always felt this way. In the years with the soul of yoga, every one of my yoga class was saying, wake the friggin' bleep up, people. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, my dears. And now I'm thinking, Now it's like we've reached critical point. So now we might have people listening. We have my people thinking, maybe I do need to kind of go to my higher power. Maybe I do need to address and humble myself and surrender to a higher power, right? Yeah, it's critical. It's not just a luxury now. It's not just like, oh, I'll do that and I'll go meditate, with the meditators because that seems to be the fad right now. No, I'm doing it now because there's an absolute critical need for me to address the truth as best as I can and to get close to the love factor, the love magic, the love addiction, my dears. Absorb and plunge into the love of God. So automatically we live life automatically on the auto of God's loving presence. Wow. So, this Tamasic austerities are those based on ignorance. If you don't think I was, close to hitting the bell on saying that Tamasic is the ruler of the nations right now. Tamasic austerities, I mean, for the most part, Tamasic austerities are those based on ignorance or foolishness or performed for self torture or for injuring others. Boy, it'd be interesting to see what Yogananda has to say about that next week. Huh, my dears? Wow. So those verses 18, 19, the austerities that are said to be Rajasic and the austerities said to be Tamasic austerities, we'll go over Yogananda's commentary on that next week, 18, 19, and then we are still on chapter 17, and we're going to look at, so all this is about the three gunas. So we had the three kinds of foods, we had the three kinds of spiritual practices, and then coming up on verse 20, we have three kinds of giving. Yeah, we have three kinds of giving. So we're still right in the thick of things, but three kinds of faith is the name of this chapter 17. Three kinds of faith. So those three gunas have their say in a duality dream delusion, my dears. They really have their say. The high-minded, those who seek to lift, to raise. There's always something I need to do better and change myself more and more and more. And then there's the rajas where people are just kind of I go to church on Sunday, this and that. So there's that level, and then there's the tamasic where you just let it. You're on fling and a binge and the whole thing all at once. No responsibility and just do what you want to do. Yeah, Spirit Soul, can't wait to see you guys soon. Yeah, so Brookie's coming by, Ashlyn in a week or so, 2 weeks, whatever. And she's going to see Lisa and me. So yay for us. Mary, thanks. I'm so glad you made it. And Lisa and Jim made it. And Ryan, I'm gonna close this down now. I hope you enjoyed, some refuge. I hope you enjoyed. I am easily reached by the yogi who is absorbed in me and plunges into me and loves me unconditionally. Yeah. So we had a good one this morning. I do believe keep it in your heart, my dears, because the heart's just going to get brighter when we go to the next thing. Right? All right. Love you. Namaste. Thank you, Lord Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Mahavatar, Babaji, Very Mahashaya, Sri Yukteswar, and our Guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, saints and sages of all religions. Thank you. Aho. Namaste.